Hi guys, welcome back. Well, after I had some success melting the aluminium with this mould the other day, I've been looking around the shop. I'd like to do something similar diameter but a longer piece. And I've been looking around the shop and I've managed to find this bar. I should say it's about 13 inches long. Similar internal dimensions. The wall's slightly thicker on this, but I don't think that makes any difference. And I was about to put this on the horizontal mill and split it into two, like I did with this piece of scaffolding tube. Thought it might make it easier taking the aluminium out of the mould. And as I say, I was about to put that onto the horizontal mill and split it into two. And then I thought, it's a pretty smooth internal surface on this. The scaffolding tube has a welded seam on the inside, which could cause problems, but this piece hasn't. It's a nice smooth internal wall, and I thought rather than splitting to two, what I intend doing is sealing one end up with some tape, and then I'm going to put it into the bucket of sand, maybe halfway up. Obviously there's no joints for the aluminium to escape from on this piece, so that should be easier. If I just seal one end up, put it into the sand in the bucket, and then when it's cast, I thought this large arbor press would be able to push the cast aluminium through. This particular arbor press, I believe, generates about 7 ton pressure on it, so I'm going to give that a try. Now, as I mentioned in previous videos, I've got these pieces of aluminium that have been left in the crucible after no more aluminium would pour out. I've got 3 of these. This is probably the least melted one of the 3. So I'm going to put the furnace on and just put these 3 remnants in and see if I can melt those down. Well, I don't think I got too much in there, guys, but be a good experiment to see how easy it comes out of the tube. I didn't put this last piece in. I didn't get as even a melt as I did with the solid chunks that I put in on the previous pour. Now, I don't know if it doesn't melt as well on the second time you heat it up. I just don't know. I'll have to do some research on that. But it was definitely as hot as I did on the successful pour. Well, I'm not too optimistic about this pour, guys. I didn't get anywhere near as much as I thought I would do out of that crucible with the remnant pieces, so maybe better in the future just sticking to solid chunks. But let's have a see. Not sure how much I got in here. Yeah, it might be about 4 inches in the bottom, but interesting to see what it's like and how easily it pushes out of this tube. I didn't lose any at all, so this tape's done its job, and the sand. Is that free already? I believe it is. No need for the arbor press. That bit at the bottom is where the sands push the tape up as I pushed it into the bucket, but overall it doesn't look too bad. So I think that's a possibility in the future, guys. If I can melt enough aluminium to fill it up at the top, I think it'll push out pretty easily. As I said earlier, it's a very smooth inner surface on this. There's no ridges like the smaller scaffolding tube that I used, but that came out very easily, so I think that's a piece I can use. Well, guys, this is a piece that I've cast in this longer tube. It's only about 4 inches long, but I've learned a bit more about casting the aluminium, and I've got a few ideas why I only got a small amount out of that last pour, but more of that later. I'm going to start turning this down now. This is the guide for the brooch that goes through the gears, and I think this will turn down now to that diameter, and then this piece then will slide onto the gear. On the opposite side, I need to turn that down to a smaller diameter. The plan is this side of the piece will be mounted into a bearing that then will allow the gear to spin round. So first of all, I'm going to face this off and see what the innards are like of this.
The 4 feathers on this hat are magic. They enabled Tex Tucker's dog and horse to speak, and his guns to fire without him even touching them. And now, another exciting adventure from Four Feather Falls.
Well, it's looking good, guys. I've just got one small piece there that's just below the surface, but I think I've still got enough material to get rid of that. Yeah, probably another 2mm. So I think we'll be okay with this one. Well guys, this is the crucible I used for the last pour in the longer tube that I found, hoping to get a longer piece of aluminium out of it. And I only put in the crucible the remnants of some previous pours, and I didn't get a great deal of aluminium out of it. And this is the piece. This is the piece that was left in the crucible when it cooled down, and again it hasn't fully melted, and the crucible was absolutely red hot. So I think in future guys I'm not going to bother with the chips. The most successful pour I've had so far is when I put a full piece of aluminium in like this. This is an old brake caliper off a Lexus, and I took all these steel bits off and just left with the aluminium. I didn't even cut it down, I put it in as a full chunk and it melted down, and that was the best pour that I've had so far. So I think I'm going to discard the leftovers from the pour and just concentrate on big chunks of aluminium that I haven't tried to pre-melt. I'm getting a bit low now on aluminium, so I think tomorrow's a trip to my friends at the scrapyard and we'll get some alloy wheels. I noticed, looking back at the video that I did just the other night, I noticed that the crucible and the inside of the furnace was absolutely glowing red hot. But as soon as I took it out of the furnace, the crucible started to cool down rapidly. And that is possibly because I didn't have a lot of aluminium in the crucible itself. Obviously you've got a lot of aluminium in and that's been melted, it's going to retain more heat than a small amount in, so that's possibly why I didn't get a great deal out of it. So I think in future I'm going to try and fill the crucible up as much as I can with the aluminium to try and retain the heat. It may be worth possibly buying a smaller crucible in future for smaller pours. I'll have to look into that, but next time I'm going to put this full piece in one go. Just about fits in. I've got one or two more little pieces to take off it yet, but I think I put it in like that last time, or I may have cut some of these wings off so it fitted in a bit better. But that's what's going in on the next pour, guys. Right guys, I need a housing to support this bearing and make it adjustable. So once all the gears are cut, they'll mesh together correctly. And I've got this piece that I've cast. Got it mounted in the pour jaw, and we're pretty good there now. So I'm going to keep the overall diameter of it as it is. There's just one chunk here that's missing that I'm going to take out, and then I've not measured what dimension this is yet, but that's no big deal. Probably go through first with a drill and then bore it out to the correct internal diameter, and then I'll put the parting blade off and just take it down slightly wider than what the bearing is itself. Hopefully I've got quite a lot of gears to cut, so I'll probably get maybe 3 or 4 housing out of this one piece, but we're pretty good there. The outside dimension's not critical, obviously it's the internal that I need for the bearing to be a push fit. Well guys, I think that's one gear completed. The bearing housing fits in nicely. I've got a couple of holes to drill into this that will be mounted onto the back plate. The gear is mounted onto its spindle. I'm going to push the key in a bit farther yet. It's only about halfway, but it will go in. And then the spindle goes into the bearing. That's a push fit onto there. And that then I'll allow the gear to spin. Now I've got the projects I'm making these for, there's going to be a lot of gears, all different sizes. It's an automaton that I'm planning on building, but there's going to be lots of different gear ratios on it, so I've got quite a few to cast, and I've made a start on getting, find another one. I've made a start on making the gears, all different sizes. This is the only one that I've got the teeth in yet, but I think the next job is a trip to the scrapyard, get some more aluminium and cast a lot more up, and then I can do a session gear cutting all the different sizes. But I think the first job is to back all the chips off the lathe. Well, thanks for watching guys, I hope you enjoy my videos, and if you have subscribed, thanks very much. If you haven't, well, maybe consider doing so. See you on the next one guys.